Business.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. The business for the week commencing the 22nd of June will include Monday the 22nd of June, remaining stages of the Armed Forces Bill. Tuesday the 23rd of June, an opposition day, first allotted day, debate on the motion and the name of the official opposition. The subject is yet to be announced. Wednesday the 24th of June, debate on motions to approve Ways and Means resolutions relating to the taxation of energy and vehicles, followed by a debate on motions to approve the Draft Carbon Budget Order 2026, the Draft Climate Change Act 2008 International Aviation and Shipping Regulations 2026, and the Draft Climate Change Act 2008 Credit Limit Order 2026. Thursday the 25th of June, a general debate on Windrush Day 2026, followed by a general debate on the diagnosis and treatment of PANS and PANDAS, the subject for these debates being determined by the Backbench Business Committee. On Friday the 26th of June, the House will not be sitting. The provisional business for the week commencing the 29th of June includes Monday the 29th of June, Estimates Day, first day. Subject to the agreement of the House, there will be debates on estimates relating to the Cabinet Office insofar as it relates to security and resilience, the Northern Ireland Office and the Home Office and Ministry of Justice insofar as they relate to criminal justice. Tuesday the 30th of June, Estimates Day, Day 2. Subject to the agreement of the House, there will be debates on estimates relating to the Department for Culture, Media and Sport insofar as it relates to sport and youth services, the Department of Health and Social Care insofar as it relates to pharmaceutical procurement, and the Department for Work and Pensions insofar as it relates to the spending priorities and performance. And at 7 p.m, the House will be asked to agree all outstanding estimates. Wednesday, the 1st of July, proceedings on the Supply and Appropriation Main Estimates Bill, followed by consideration of a Business of the House motion, followed by all stages of the Taxation, Energy and Vehicles Bill. Thursday, the 2nd of July, debate on a motion on common hold and leasehold reform and the regulation of property managing agents, followed by a general debate on access to further education. The subject for these debates were determined by the Backbench Business Committee, and on Friday, the 3rd of July, the House will not be sitting.
Joy Morrissey.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is a pleasure to be responding again to the Leader of the House. It is, of course, the day after England started their world champion, and it is fair to say they already have our hopes up. I am a bit cheered out, Mr. Speaker. And today, many of our colleagues are pounding the pavement for the by-elections. And I am sure the right honourable gentleman is waiting with bated breath to see if the self-anointed King of the North is shortly to begin his long march south to save the Labour Party from the Greens. Or maybe he is waiting more keenly for the next intervention from the former Health Secretary, bemoaning the Prime Minister's, and I quote, poor leadership, poor judgment, and bad politics. The truth is, Mr. Speaker, that, well, the comedy of errors, the comedy of this Labour government is playing out. The serious issues facing our country go unaddressed. Grooming gangs, the murder of Henry Nowak, the two-tier justice system, and Benefit Britain, but none more so than the irresponsible failure of the Prime Minister. And this Labour government to support our armed forces with a defence investment plan fit for the dangerous world we face. A Prime Minister and Labour government also prepared to see our veterans subjected to continuing persecution and relentless lawfare. It is a failure of leadership. It is a failure to put our country before party. It is a failure to put our brave servicemen and women before personal political survival. And it is a failure to protect those who have fought to keep us safe and free. It is easy to say the first duty of government is protecting the country. It is much harder to make that choice, the choices needed to deliver on that duty. We know that the root cause of this failure, that Labour MPs put Benefit Street before anything or anyone else. The DWP Secretary of State kindly confirmed it when he told Peter Mandelson that the only question Labour MPs ask him is who they can tax to pay more benefits. The Prime Minister didn't have the backbone to confront his backbenchers and tackle the out-of-control welfare bill. £333 billion of welfare spending this year, £18 billion higher than last year. As the Centre for Social Justice pointed out recently, £18 billion could have been invested in our armed forces. £18 billion could have bought 200 fighter jets. £18 billion could have bought 12 warships. £18 billion could have funded 250,000 extra soldiers. Labour is taking the wealth created by hard-working families, small businesses, and millions of Britons and making clear that in Labour, Britain working just doesn't pay. That in Labour's Britain, Benefit Street comes first. Which brings me back to Andy Burnham, a twice-failed Labour leadership candidate who has shown he has exactly the same flexibility of principle as the current Labour leader. A twice-failed Labour leadership candidate who thinks governing will be as simple as out-greening the Greens. Spend more, tax more, repeat. This Labour Party can never and will never change. Our armed forces, hard-working families and small businesses across Britain deserve better. It is time for this government to keep their promises, or it is time for this government to go.
Leader of the House.
Mr. Speaker, and I welcome the Honourable Lady to her place, and we'll get to her remarks in just a second. But may I say before I do so, Mr. Speaker, that I was saddened to hear this week of the passing of Roy Hattersley, a former Deputy Labour leader. He was, and it's an overused word, but he was a true giant of the Labour Party and will be remembered for his role in reforming it. He gave decades of service, and I send my condolences to his friends and family. I'm also sure, Mr. Speaker, that the whole House will join me in sending our condolences to the family and colleagues of PC Jess Turnbull, who was killed on duty as a Northumbria police officer. Police officers risk their lives each day to help people and make a difference, and PC Turnbull was a committed and dedicated officer, and she will be sorely missed. I also want to congratulate the parliamentarians and those associated with Parliament who were recognised in the King's Birthday Honours last week. It's right and proper that people who make an exemplary contribution to public service are recognised in the way that many others across our country are recognised too. Mr. Speaker, this week we've announced that social media will be banned for under-16s. We're going further than any country in the world by banning social media for under-16s, and we're putting wider protections in place to give young people their childhood back. And yesterday, Mr. Speaker, this House passed the National Security State Threats Bill, and many members have raised this with me in this forum, and they'll be pleased to see that the bill gave the Home Secretary new counter-terrorism-style powers to stand up to foreign state organisation and state-linked groups that threaten the UK's national security and the safety of our communities. I join with the Honourable Lady in congratulating England and Scotland winning their opening World Cup matches, particularly Scotland's performance, which was their first win in the Men's World Cup for 36 years. Let me turn now to the remarks of the Honourable Lady, and she started by referring to the King of the North, and disappointing her remarks were, because I thought for a moment she was referring to me, but as King of the North, but clearly not. But she's right to say that leadership is a serious matter. She's a late convert to this, Mr. Speaker, because I've pointed out before she was one of the last people in the bunker with Boris Johnson, and then when that ended, she leapt to Liz Truss. So I just ask her a question: how did that turn out then? But on a serious point, this Prime Minister has done more than his predecessors, much more than his predecessors, to make our country safe, both by working hard on the diplomatic stage, but also on defence. And I'll just remind the House that her government, quote, and I quote, hollowed out defence. And they're not my words, they are the words of a former Defence Secretary in the government that she served in. And as for welfare, we are tackling the broken welfare system that they left behind, and we're getting on with the job of that. But let me just say this. We are renewing public services, but we're also keeping our country safe. It's not a choice of either or. We're doing both of those things.